Hello again, everyone. It's Linda Ockwell-Jenner here, co-founder of the Small Business Community Network. I'm back again with another SBCN Small Biz Perspectives video, which you'll be able to check out on YouTube or the SBCN website. I've invited one of our members around, and normally you don't get to see his face because he likes to hide away via the podcast. So basically, it's Chris Davis from Polarverse. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
It's lovely to have you face to face, not at the end of a phone on the podcast.
I've always thought I had a face for radio. So.
Really good. So the reason I wanted to invite you for the video is because we have some awesome chats about some of the work you do, and just fill us in a little bit of, condensed down, obviously, because we haven't got a lot of time, but what do you offer to the clients, in the way of, services?
Well, and, to summarize it actually quite easily,
Good word.
is that my focus is to protect my clients' data and to keep it available. So if there's any kind of threat, to stop it from getting hacked, or in the worst case, recover it quickly so that you're not experiencing any downtime.
Did you know it's Fraud Prevention Week, evidently?
Well, is it?
Yeah. No, luckily I was on daytime.
There's always some kind of prevention something week, isn't there?
Well, it's funny because I'm blonde, as you know. So I was on daytime, the Rogers Cable Show today, and Susan said, "It's a good job you're on." I was talking about Twitter. This guy had approached me, and he wanted me to have this briefcase of money, and I'd get 20%. It was very shady. So I went on talking about it, and then tomorrow we got a policeman, a fraud guy from Toronto, talking on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Luckily, we didn't know it was Fraud Week because we forgot, but now you're on. So if our data gets stolen or lost or compromised, you can help us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you want to dive straight into that pretty little box, or do you want to tell us a bit more about how you protect the data?
Well, I guess we'll get to it as a coming conversation.
Okay.
I guess the biggest buzz thing right now is ransomware. I've talked about that a few times, but that's probably the biggest threat out there. There's other things that can affect your data, like failed hardware, other kinds of viruses and hacks. But the big one everyone's scared of is ransomware, because that's all you hear about in the news. I was actually reading about, and this was back in November, the trains, like a subway train system in San Francisco or whatever, the light rail, maybe that's what they have there. I don't know. I just know it was a train. And they got hit by ransomware, and they were asked to pay $73,000. They didn't pay the ransom. They did not pay the ransom, which you shouldn't pay a ransom, because lately it's been like 1 in 4 people who pay the ransom don't get their data back.
Really?
They've paid the ransom.
That's naughty.
Yeah. But the thing was with these guys, even though they didn't pay the ransom and they had good backups, their backups were not restored like that. They were down for 2 days and lost $1.5 million in revenue.
I've got to admit, even I know, because of you and Dave and some other people, that we can't actually protect our stuff 100%, can we? It's impossible.
No.
So the thing is, I think the best thing to do is to listen to you or someone else you trust and say, what is the best we can do to protect ourselves and our customers, yeah?
Well, there's, you have to have layered security for one. You have to have, because not one application or one type of prevention is going to catch everything. So you got to have stuff that looks for the typical viruses out there, the malwares, the blocking bad websites, and so on, firewall. But for me, the last layer of defense is a good backup, and I wouldn't say that I sell backup. I would say that I sell business continuity, because that's what I guess I could talk about with this little guy here.
Now,
here.
When you say business continuity, I said the word today.
Hey,
if we worked this out before dinner. You've already said how much money the San Francisco people lost, right? I don't think people realise how much money and time is wasted by not coming to someone like you. Mm-hmm. So really, it's better not to come to you when it's happened, but maybe find someone like you to prevent.
You have to have something in place after the fact. You're going to be like the San Francisco train system. You're going to have downtime. Yeah, that's going to take you a while to recover from.
But don't wait till the horses run out the stable.
Those days of being reactive are gone. You just can't do that anymore. So what I do is with when I say business continuity, what I mean by that is reduced downtime. Yeah. So when your systems are down, say you got hit by ransomware, you need to get back up and going really quick and get at your data. this little box here, for instance,
It's cute.
I can have with this I can have a client back up and going within 20 minutes or less.
So what does that little box do?
Well, technically this is a little computer, but it's a specialized computer. And what it does is it takes a full image backup of your PC, your server, whatever it is you want to protect. And you could have it back up as often as every 5 minutes, depending on how critical your data is. And then at whatever time frame you decide to use, this then synchronizes to the cloud. In the evening, say when business is low, it's not to use up your bandwidth. So you've got a copy in the cloud as well. So if something happened to this box, I could still get you virtually going in within 20 minutes.
So question, don't most people have backup thingies now in the cloud or somewhere around?
But they're not doing full image backups. Like,
So
most of them are doing a file-based backup.
That's important. What is that called? Does it have a name? I mean, is it a famous brand or is it just any old
The
box?
company that I get this through is called Datto. They'd be the leading experts in the field.
Okay.
And no, they didn't pay me to say that, but I'm sure they'll be
I
happy
don't
that I
mind.
said that.
Seriously though, it looks expensive. Do they have to purchase it, rent it? Do you give it to them? How does it work?
Generally, I own the hardware because Datto only deals with what's called channel partners. They only deal with people like me. They don't deal with the direct end user.
So you would give that to me or rent it to me, or it's part
You're
of the package?
you're paying a monthly fee because of storage and the internet, and including your support that should I need to restore or
Do you work in the middle of the night? I mean, say if I rang up,
it depends on what your service contract says with me. I have different levels. I have some that are business hours only and some that are 24/7. So it just depends on how mission critical it is.
Yeah.
But typically, I worked out. I'm not going to go into detail of how I did that when I did the presentation with the group that time.
Was good.
It does work out to the cost of this would work out to about a penny per minute or less, depending on your data.
Yeah.
And if you figured out what your profit is per day, it's going to be more than a penny per minute.
Compared to say, if you lost everything.
Well, you got to figure. I have a calculator as well on my website. It's rcalc.polarverse.com.
Yeah, that's good.
And that will help you figure out what your cost of downtime would be. So if you want to get an idea if something like this would be a good choice for you, figure out what your downtime would be and, factor in at least 2 days of downtime if you're doing a traditional file-based backup.
So what's your website? Just remind us your website again because I forgot.
Just polarverse.com.
Okay, that's easy.
You don't have to put in the www.
And you are wearing your brand.
Yeah,
Everybody
right
can. I love people who wear the brand. Okay, so I guess most of your customers will go this route. Nobody says no. I don't want to do the image.
I've only had one to date that didn't want to do it.
Did they regret it?
Not yet. But it's one of those things. If it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen later.
Do you think so? It's getting really bad. I mean...
See, what my policy on backup is if you're not doing data backup, I'm not doing your backup. So
really?
I've set them up with cloud storage, but I said to them, you totally have to manage this yourself. I will not. I don't check it. I don't make sure it's
Is
running.
that because...
Because it's what I believe in. This is what I think everyone should be using.
That is so good. Because then they might say you're responsible because they didn't know.
No, I actually have them sign a waiver if they don't want to go with this.
Good for you.
Because when the chips are down, it's not working. They'll say, "Well, you didn't tell me that." Well, yes,
I like everything in
Not
writing.
that I'm going to do, and I told you so. But these days, you have to protect yourself.
I like everything in writing. This is why I say, email me. Don't text me. So no, seriously. How do you see the next 5 to 10 years panning out? Because it seems to be getting worse. I mean, it's good that you're in business.
Yeah.
But I mean,
getting
worse.
The biggest problem right now, like with stuff like ransomware, is that they demand the ransom in bitcoins, which are untraceable. And buying bitcoins by themselves can be dangerous as well, because if someone is in a situation where they have to buy bitcoins for ransom, I say open up a personal bank account, put the money in there, buy it, and then close the account. Because there's nothing to protect them from getting that bank account.
Can you go to any bank to get the bitcoins?
No, you don't get them at the bank.
You don't get them at the bank.
But you have to have a bank account to pay for it.
Can't you pay for them in bitcoins that you don't have because you couldn't pretend no.
Okay. And then bitcoins fluctuate in value too. So if you're given a $2,000 ransom and you decide that I need to pay it in order to keep the business going, The value of your Bitcoins can change from the time you buy it to when you do it there. It's crazy.
I've heard of it. It's way over my head. It's more for you, Dave, and the other people. But
Bitcoins are a little over my head too. I just know the basics of you don't want to go that route. But I always say don't pay the ransom regardless. I mean, because there's no guarantee you're going to get it, but you're still going to get your data. It's like lately it's been like 1 in 4 that have paid ransom don't get it back.
And I guess we shouldn't be surprised because they're very naughty in the first place to do this. So how can we trust naughty people?
Yeah. Well, the problem is they don't even have to be a hacker to do ransomware because they sell kits now. Some of these hackers.
Shh! Don't tell anybody. Because then everybody.
Well, you have to be on the dark web, I think, to get it. I don't even know how to get to the dark web.
That's fine. No, seriously. So, not only you.
I'm sure he'll like that. Just said that on the video.
Dave doesn't know where the dark. No, seriously, I thought the dark web.
He'll edit that out.
Isn't it where all the lights are turned off? But no, seriously, other people, other organisations, not just you, obviously offer this kind of service.
Mm-hmm. There's some other brands out there besides Dow.
But I mean, the name of the game for you with your clients, you don't want them to have expensive downtime. You want to be able to get them straight up and running.
You look at it like this is part of your business insurance, right? Like you pay to protect your business from a number of things. This is just another form of insurance.
How long ago did you work out that this was a big part of your business offering? I mean, how long has this been happening?
Probably when I moved to managed services, because then I was able to really control what was being put onto my clients' machines as far as security and that went. So it's probably been about 6 years that I made that switch.
Really?
Yeah.
And a lot of people
the last 2-3 years, it's been getting worse.
Yeah. But the thing is, you were a forward thinker then. You saw into the future and you knew that this would get bigger and bigger. Well,
I saw how people were managing their backups in the house, and so I always wanted to take control of the backups, because even when file-based was predominant, a lot of people weren't doing it right. They say, yeah, I'm backing it up. I mean, and then of course, I don't know if you remember when I did that presentation, I asked, how many people are backing up, and all these hands went up, and I said, how many people are checking those backups, and a whole bunch of hands went down.
I don't do any of that.
Yeah. So you don't really even know if your a lot of them don't know if their backups are any good until they go to actually store it.
This is why.
This actually sends me a picture each day and shows me that the backup's doable.
You're paid to check that. We're not. And this is why...
it can be as hands-off to you, or you can get copies of the verifications if you want to. Most of my clients, they don't even want to look at the reports I send them each week, even though they're really tiny reports. They just want me to look after it.
I don't think I would like to know, but I guess Dave would as my partner. But this is why we, the Small Business Community Network, offer these videos and podcasts, because people are not aware until we make them aware.
Yeah.
And then seeing your smiling face and how you're explaining everything. No, seriously. Like, when I'm like, okay, we had some roof tiles. We had some really bad wind recently. Mm-hmm. So this is really good.
Ripped a few off to this?
Yeah. And so we didn't even know till a guy, it was just a coincidence, he's driving by.
One flew off at him.
He's a roofer guy. Go figure. Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like you 5 years ago. You were looking for clients. You were looking for how you could protect them. So this guy rang the doorbell and we thought, there's, cowboy kind of deal. But his sister-in-law or something lives up the road. So, and he did a great job putting them back on. Charged us less than they thought because less had fallen off. But it's hard today to find somebody you can trust to put a roof tile on or to look after your data.
Yeah.
So while like you're very open, you're very honest, you laugh a lot. You're all over Google, the internet. You even put, like I say, this thing to time how much money you'd lose if you were downtime. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the recovery calculator.
The recovery calculator. You actually give that away on your website.
Oh, yeah, it's free.
You're very
Anybody can use it.
Yeah. So basically, you're not saying, I will give you this tracker if you give me some money.
No, I actually offer a lot of free stuff on like ebooks and whatnot. Just and
does that pay off for you?
Sometimes, I mean, it keeps me in front of mind. So, but I still would rather people come to me before there's a problem than after.
I know.
Unfortunately, a lot of my clients, that's the way the relationship starts, is because there's something bad that's happened. Because people still think that, that's not going to happen to me.
I know.
It does. How I used to get clients back in the day. It's a funny story when you're talking about your shingles. Made me think of it there. When wireless first became popular, and a lot of people would, in their little offices, they go out and buy wireless and plug in and say, hey, it's working great, I'm done. And I'd come in and say, it's not secured. And I remember this one lady telling me, it's secure, my husband set it up and blah, blah, blah.
No.
So while I was talking to her, I started printing stuff on her printer.
That's quite funny. It's like in the olden days.
Yeah, that's when it first came out and everyone just plugged it in a box. Now out of the box, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But back then, if you just plugged out the box, it was wide open.
So what are the 3 things that you'd like to leave with us today so we can watch the video and remember? The 3 most important things if you don't want your business, to be stopped and lose clients or lose money. Continuity? I can't say the word.
Business continuity.
Business continuity. So what are the 3 biggest things we should do?
Well, the biggest thing is to have security in place. Make sure have someone managing it, making sure it's up to date.
Yeah.
Having an image-based backup. One of the most important things is educating your users on what to click and not to click on, because the people are the biggest problem.
I was talking about that today too.
Yeah. I even had people in the audience that day telling me, "Well, I do this backup. I do it every night." And I said, "Well, the problem with the backup is you, because it's relying on you sticking that USB key in there."
Yeah. It's funny though, because I shouldn't laugh, because I'm only aware because I live with a geeky kind of guy, and I know you and other people, and it's made me more cautious. All I say to people out there, like I said on Daytime today, if you get an email or there's something online and it looks a little bit too good to be true, or
it usually is.
Yeah, guess what I got the other day? It's hilarious. I put it on Facebook. I had this special offer from Costco, but Costco with a K.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's always something slightly different in, like a missing letter or making a plural or.
So take the time to look for all I do. I don't know if this is right. I hover on the email and it showed up COSTKO, and I thought that's not right. And I put it on Facebook to kind of help people realise. But like Susan, said today, people are busy, people are not aware. But then the thing is, we've only got ourselves to blame. You know what I'm saying? If we, everybody should look today at what they're clicking on. I know you can help them, and I know that your clients are being helped, but we've got to help ourselves too, haven't we? So we got your website address, and you did an awesome presentation at the SBCN. You wowed everybody out. So basically, what were the 3 tips? Repeat them again, because I've forgotten.
Security.
Image-based
backups.
Education. So we do that together. So we don't have to use that particular thing. I guess they'll ask their providers or whatever.
Yeah, this is the best in my opinion. This
why is it the best?
Because the support at the other end is awesome. So if I come across something I can't do, they're always available
That's
to
important,
me. And especially when if a restore doesn't happen the way it's supposed to, which can happen.
Yeah.
And
you're not God.
Yeah, and they can connect just like I would connect into one of my clients' machines and help me out. But the thing that I haven't seen any of the other guys do is that every time this does a backup, it sends me a screenshot to show me that backup is bootable, which means I know it's good. So it's tested every day, as opposed to like a file-based backup. It's not easily tested, and depending on what kind of backup system you're using, one bad file can spoil the whole backup.
So it is value for money. It's reliable. The customer service is good. You're happy. Your clients are happy. So
And I can guarantee them that if they're hit by something like ransomware, that they don't have to worry.
That is awesome.
But if they don't have this, I cannot make that guarantee.
Well, Chris, all we can do is to say to the people watching the video,
this is the water. This is the water that the horse goes to. But you can't make them drink it.
This is the stable with the door open and the horse is gone. No, this has been awesome. But we've got to help ourselves, people. So the Small Business Community Network, myself, Dave, wonderful members like Chris Davis and a lot of others are here to help you, make you aware, aren't we? So as I say, share the video with people who want to know. And thank you, Chris, for coming along, because we always have a laugh, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's nice to see you that have been at the end of the phone. So I would definitely recommend that everybody gets somebody. It might not be you. It could be anybody, because the video is watched by a lot of people. Get somebody to continue your services, because I can't say the other word.
Yeah, just people need to look after their data. It doesn't necessarily have to be me that's doing it, but they that's the only way you're going to stop things like ransomware.
It's very important.
Is if you stop making it easy for them.
Okay, that's the message. We're gonna say bye for now, but we'll be back with another video. Have a nice night.
Bye bye.